Good morning, students. Welcome to All Force Education Institutions, Telangana. This is Intermediate Political Science or Civics first year. Yesterday, we discussed about liberalism, a part of fifth unit. What is the fifth unit? Political ideologies or political theories. Clear? Now, I am going to give brief introduction about last class. Liberalism, it is also one of the important political theory like individualism. The important essence of liberalism is state must have limited powers or limited functions, and individuals must have more liberties or more freedoms. Clear? One thing. As a moment, liberalism can be divided into two types: classical liberalism and modern liberalism. Classical liberalism supported the negative state. Negative state performs only limited functions like protective and regulatory functions. Clear? It was developed by Adam Smith, David Ricardo, Bentham and others. Second thing is modern liberalism. With the great contribution of T.H. Green, classical liberalism changed into modern liberalism. It was supported by T.H. Green, Clear, Thornway, Hobhouse, H.J. Lasky. Modern liberalism supports the positive state, and so modern liberalism is also called as a positive liberalism, because state performs not only protective functions but also welfare functions. Coming to what are the important features or tenets of the socialism. First one is man. Liberalism considered that man is a rational creature. Second thing is common interest. There is no contradiction between the individual interest and common interest. Common interests are originated due to the reconciliation between the diverse interest of the different sections of the people. And third one is artificial institutions. State and civil society are the artificial institutions. They are created by the individuals for protection of common interest. Fourth one is primacy of procedure. When the procedure is right, then decision will be right. Then the decisions are accepted by the people. Then civil liberties. Liberalism not only provides the various types of liberties but also provide the protection to them. Then freedom of contract. Liberalism gives an opportunity to the individuals to conclude contracts with others and institutions. Clear? So without consent of the individuals cannot conclude any contracts with others and institutions. Then public policy. So without taking into consider the common interest of the people, the government cannot formulate any policy. Clear? So these are the some of important tenets or features of the liberalism. Clear? Now today I am going to explain one more new theory, namely socialism. The socialism is the most important political theory in the political science. Yes, socialism is one of the most important political theory in the political science. This theory was originated against capitalism. Because in capitalism so many defects are there. One of the most important defect of capitalism is economic inequality. So many other defects also there, like existence of poverty, unemployment, miserable conditions of the laborers. Okay, like this defects also there. But economic inequality is the most important demerit of capitalism. So as against capitalism, Robert Owen, a famous British political philosopher, proposed the socialism theory. Okay, who is the famous political philosopher here? Robert Owen. Robert Owen. Yes, Robert Owen. He was the first political philosopher who proposed the socialism as against capitalism. Clear? As against capitalism. After Robert Owen, some other political philosophers also developed this theory, namely Charles Fourier, Charles Fourier, next Saint-Simon, okay, Sismond, etc. Like these writers also developed socialism after Robert Owen. Clear? It is the one thing. Second thing is the meaning of socialism. Meaning of socialism. The word socialism is derived from a Latin word socius. The word socialism is derived from a Latin word, namely socius. Socius means society. Socius means society. According to meaning, socialism gives more importance to the society than individuals. Clear? Capitalism or individualism will give importance to the individuals, whereas socialism gives importance to society than individuals. Clear? It is the meaning of socialism. What is the meaning of socialism? The word socialism is derived from a Latin word socius, which means society. According to meaning, socialism gives importance to society. Then, so many political philosophers have given definitions to the socialism, but no perfect definitions and accurate definitions for socialism. Here I am trying to give two simple definitions to you. One is of George Bernard Shaw definition, another one is of Bertrand Russell definition. So according to George Bernard Shaw definitions of socialism, socialism means equality in income, equality in income and nothing else. Nothing else. It is the definition of George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw. Clear? Second definition is of Bertrand Russell. According to him, socialism is a advocacy. Socialism is a advocacy of common ownership of land and property. Land and property. It is the definition of Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell. Clear? See here. According to George Bernard Shaw, socialism means equality in income. Equality in income. So what is the most important aim of socialism? The important aim of socialism is to achieve the economic equality based on aim. This definition has given by George Bernard Shaw. In the same way, Bertrand Russell, socialism is the advocacy of common ownership of land and property. Here land and property are the means of production. Yes, according to this definition, land and property must be controlled under society, common ownership. They must be controlled under what? Society ownership. So these are the two simple definitions of socialism. Coming to important principles of socialism. Or main principles or important features of socialism. Number 1 is importance of society. Importance of society. Number 2, organic unity of society. Then abolition of capitalism. Fourth, abolition of competition. Then belief in equality. Opposition to private property. Then social ownership of material factors. Material factors. And last one is centralized planning system. Clear? So these are the main principles of socialism. 1, importance of society. 2, organic unity of society. Abolition of capitalism. Abolition of competition. Belief in equality. Opposition to private property. Social ownership of material factors. 8th one is centralized planning system. So now I am going to explain one by one. As according to meaning, we know socialism gives importance to society. Clear? So socialism gives more importance to society than individual, because common interest or the interest of the society are more important than selfish interest of the individuals. Here, what the interest of the society are? The interest of the society are as more important than individual interests. Individual interests are selfish interests. Individual interests. Clear? So individual interests are the selfish interests. Hence, it gives importance to the interest of the society. It is one thing. Then the production of commodities essential for the people of the society. Clear? Here the goods or the services must be produced for welfare of the people, not for the interest of the few people in the society. That is another thing. And one more thing is socialism gives importance to what is service motto, then profit motto, Here profit motto is one of the important feature of capitalism. This theory proposed against capitalism. Hence, it gives importance to service motto. Clear? It is the one thing. Second thing is organic unity of society. Organic unity of society. Now here, in capitalist society, people do not enjoy the equal opportunities or liberties and equalities. Liberties, freedoms or equalities. Clear? In which society? In capitalist society. There are two types of people are there. One is capitalists. Okay, they are rich people. Another group is laborers. They are the poor people. So minority people are the capitalists and majority people are the laborers. Clear? In capitalist society, capitalists or rich people will enjoy all types of opportunities, whereas the majority of the laborers do not enjoy all opportunities along with the capitalists. Clear? In capitalist society, there are two types of groups are there. One group is haves, capitalists or rich people. Second, have-nots. Okay, they are laborers or poor people. Only capitalists will enjoy the equal opportunities, many opportunities, all opportunities, but majority of the people, laborers, do not enjoy the equal opportunities along with the rich people. Clear? It is one thing. Then hence the socialists considered that only in socialist society people can enjoy adequate opportunities. Yes, the socialists considered that only in socialist society, so all people can enjoy adequate opportunities. Yes, adequate opportunities. And moreover, everyone is provided with basic facilities. Clear? Everyone is provided with basic facilities. Clear? Whereas in capitalist society, everyone is not getting the basic facilities like food, shelter, clothes, education, okay, etc. Clear? Then third one is abolition of capitalism. So here socialism wants to abolition of capitalism. So what is the reason for abolition of capitalism? Because in capitalist society, here who are the have-nots? Laborers are the have-nots. They are exploited by the capitalists. Clear? So here laborers are exploited by whom? Capitalists. Clear? By exploiting the labor of the laborers, the capitalist will become rich. and they acquire the capital, they acquire the more money. Clear? So what is the main aim of capitalism? Benefit. Clear? Benefit. So acquisition of land, acquisition of property. Clear? In a capitalist society, how the capitalist will acquire the capital or money? By exploiting the labor of the laborers. And so hence socialists wanted to abolish the capitalism. Clear? It is the one thing. And in capitalism, the government or the state or the capitalist system do not provide proper salaries, allowances and other basic facilities which are determined by the law to the laborers. Hence, socialists wanted to abolish the capitalism. Socialists wanted to abolish the capitalism. Then, fourth one is abolition of competition. Abolition of competition. In capitalist society, there is a scope for as competition in economic matters, especially in productive matters. In productive matters, what will be happen? There is a scope for competition. Clear? There is a competition in market. The competition in the market leads to certain evils. So what type of evils are there in the capitalist society due to the competition? Example, 1. Corruption, 2. Monopoly, 3. Poverty, unemployment, miserable conditions of the laborers. Clear? Competition leads to like these evils. Clear? As a result, laborers do not enjoy their liberties and freedoms. Hence, they lead miserable life. Who lead miserable life? Laborers will lead miserable life. Hence, socialists wanted to abolish this type of capitalism, this type of competition. And moreover, capitalists wanted to encourage the cooperation in place of competition. Yes, the socialists wanted to encourage the cooperation as cooperation in place of competition at local level, state level, national level and international level. Clear? So here socialists wanted to encourage the cooperation. It is one of the important feature of socialism. Clear? In place of competition in all levels, local level, state level, national level and international level. Here state level means in provincial level. Clear? Then fifth one is belief in equality. Belief in equality. So here socialism is based on the principle of equality. Socialism believes on principles of equality. So socialism wants to provide equal opportunities to all the individuals without any discrimination. Clear? So this theory originated as against capitalism. In capitalism, there is no scope for equal opportunities to all. Socialism wanted to provide equal opportunities to all. Hence, it is stands on the basis of a principle of equality. Hence, the socialist wanted to provide equal opportunities to all the people in the society. Clear? It is one thing. Then one more thing is, the people have talents, efficiency, skill, okay, merit, like this aspects are there. Clear? Now these are natural the differences among the individuals. Clear? So here socialism recognized the fact that the individuals have merit, efficiency, talent, okay, hardworking nature, like this. All these inequalities or differences can bear the individuals, but people cannot bear the or tolerate the long-standing inequalities. Hence, socialism wanted to remove long-standing inequalities. It is very dangerous to the society. Clear? Then, opposition of private property. As opposition of private property. Here, the private property is one of the important feature of capitalism. Clear? So here, socialism theory wants to abolish the private property. What is the main reason for abolition of private property? In capitalism, capitalists will exploit the labor of the laborers. By that, they will gain or acquire the private property. As to safeguard the interest of the laborers, or to stop the exploitation of the labor of the laborers. It is very essential to abolish the private property. Clear? For gaining the private property, capitalists are exploiting the labor of the laborers. By exploiting the labor of the laborers, they will gain the private property. Hence, to safeguard the interest of the laborers, or to stop the exploitation of the labor of the laborers, it is very essential to abolish the private property. Clear? Next, the private property is in the form of land. It is in the form of land. Land is the gift of nature. Hence, the land must be utilized for the welfare of the or collective welfare of the people, not for the selfish interest of the few persons like capitalists. Clear? And some more things, some means of production and distribution, like industries, okay, mines, okay, buildings, okay, etc. These are also called as material factors. These are also called as material factors. Clear? So they must be under control of society. There must be control under the society, that is called as society ownership. Okay, there must be society ownership of industries, mines, buildings, etc. Clear? They must be utilized for collective or common interest of the individuals, not the selfish interest of the capitalists. Then, seventh one is social ownership of material factors. Just now I said, what are the material factors? Here, factories, so industries, so land, so mines, etc. These are called as what? Material factors. In capitalist society, all these material factors are controlled under the private persons like capitalists. Clear? They will utilize them for their profit only, for their interest only, but not for the benefit of the society, not for the interest of the society. Hence socialists wanted to bring these material factors control under society. That is called as a social ownership. These must be control under society. That is called as a social ownership. And last one is centralized planning system. Centralized planning system. Centralized planning system. Centralized planning system. Here socialism considered that the centralized planning system is very essential for the progress of the society. Clear? For progress of society it is very essential. Clear? No one state can develop, no one society can progress. Clear? So without a planning system. And so almost in the world all countries are following a systematic economic planning system for their economic development. Hence here the planning will act as a mean. Clear? The planning will act as a mean for economic development of the country. So there must be a centralized planning system for every country for economic development of the country and society. Clear? Then only in the society the people will have liberties, freedoms. Then only the people will enjoy equal opportunities. Then there is scope for common interest or collective interest. Clear? So these are some of important principles of socialism. What are the important principles of socialism? Importance to society. 2. Organic unity of society. 3. Abolition of capitalism. 4. Abolition of competition. 5. Belief in equality. 6. Opposition to private property. 7. Social ownership of material factors. Last one is centralized planning system. Okay students, with this socialism main principles topic is over. Okay, I will meet you in the next session. Goodbye.